Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Now, before I get on to this video, you're probably wondering, where have I been for so long? So what ended up happening was this. I actually suffered a severe back injury, and while I was on the road to recovery, I received news that my father passed. So I decided to hold off from coming back to do any types of content. So it was just not this channel, it was also my Pokemon Go channel and my other channel, which was strictly called True Inferno, not to mention me live streaming on the Pupper website. I done no forms of content for a good minute, but I returned recently and now I'm back making videos for this channel as well. So what is this video about? We're going to talk about the American Express Gold card. When I first reviewed this card, I didn't really give this card much of a chance because of the fact that the annual fee was too high, and the credits that it had to offset the annual fee were, I thought they were not good. Because originally I had the mindset of, who goes to the likes of Five Guys every month? Or who Ubers every month? And I thought the Resi credit was not good as well, because I figured that people have their favorite restaurants that they like to go to, as opposed to going out and trying anything new. So I didn't really give this much of a chance. But then I got the card and things changed. Now the reason why things changed is because I actually discovered better ways to use those credits, in combination with the fact that some changes have occurred within my life, not referring to my father passing, but even before then. So because of all of that, this simply became one of my all-time favorite cards. It's one of my top 2 favorite cards, next to the Capital One Venture X card. And speaking of changes, we're going to talk about some recent changes that were made to this card, and there's 4 of them that we're going to highlight. And not to mention, we're going to review this card because after all, this is like my 6th month with the card. So let's not waste any time, let's get on with it. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now about to review this card right here, the American Express Gold card. So we're going to start off with some of the stuff that we know about the card already. So for example, the annual fee. The annual fee remained the same, and it is currently at $325, which is a bit up there, to be honest. Now, here's where things start to get very interesting. You can still get up to 100 American Express points. Now, originally you had to spend $6,000 with the card within 6 months of you getting the card. Now they increased the spend requirement. It's now $8,000, but the amount of time you have to complete the spend requirement remains the same. So we're talking $8,000 that you have to spend within 6 months of you getting the card, which means you have to spend an extra $333.33 per month on top of the $1,000 per month that you have to spend already. So adding the extra $2,000 isn't exactly a good thing. And for those of you who don't have the card already but is thinking about getting the card, you're going to frown upon that change. Is it possible to make this work and still get the spend requirement? Yes. But is it a pain that you have to spend an extra $2,000 as opposed to spending just $6,000? Yes. But it's not the end of the world. So one way you can go about it is, if you have a major spend that you plan on doing, then I would say, yeah, get the card, use that card as your daily driver to pay for everything, and then make that giant purchase within those 6 months, and you should be fine. Before you get the card, make sure you have the $8,000 on you ready to go, or have some form of the $8,000, whether it's $6,000, $5,000, something like that, and you're confident that you can get the remaining amount within those 6 months to pay the card off. Because remember, this is not a starter card. So there's no zero annual fee for a certain period of time. So once you get the card and it's using the card, you got to pay the card off right there on the spot. Otherwise, the APR will kicks in. Let's move on. Next up, the reward multipliers. The majority of them remain the same here. So we're looking at still 4 times the points towards restaurants worldwide, up to $50,000 per year. You're still looking at 4 times the points on groceries, only in the United States still, and still up to $25,000 per year. You're still looking at 3 times the points towards flights booked on the American Express website or directly with that airline, and you're still gonna get 1 time the points for everything else. Now here's where the change comes to play. Originally, you were getting 2 times the points towards prepaid hotels booked on the American Express travel site. Now they up the ante on that. It's now 5 times the points. So that's crazy. That is a major upgrade, if I do say so myself. Now, granted, are there other cards that can beat that? Yes. For example, the Capital One Venture X card would give you 10 times the points on hotel book on their travel site. And I'll be honest, off the top of my head, that's the only one I can think of that can beat that. there may be other cards that could potentially beat that. But believe it or not, that's the same amount of points you'll be getting with the platinum card, which is crazy. I think it's about time for them to up the ante on that as well. But let's move on. Now let's get on with the credits. So you're still looking at $120 towards dining credit, which is broken down to $10 per month. So this will apply towards Grubhub, which includes Seamless. I have no clue what that is. Five Guys, the Cheesecake Factory, and here's where two more changes come to play. This now includes Wonder. I don't know what that is, but it also includes Buffalo Wild Wings. So if you're a fan of going to Buffalo Wild Wings, then yeah, you're gonna like that change. You go there once per month, that's $10 credit right there going towards Buffalo Wild Wings. Now, how do I use this credit? You gotta go to my Patreon. I have a strategy in terms of how to make the American Express Gold card work for you, which is why this is one of my top 2 favorite cards, because I made the card work for me, and the credits that they offer offset the annual fee by a lot. Let's move on. You're still going to get the $120 Uber credit, which is $10 per month. And again, I know a way to make that work in my favor now. You got to go to the Patreon to see how, but let's move on. You're still going to get the $100 Resi credit, which is broken down to $50 per semi-annually. So we're talking $50 from January to June, and then another $50 from July to December. And I'm now using that one. Now, I have no problem explaining this one. So, going back to December, I'm not sure if I mentioned it on this channel. I had a mental episode, and I posted it online about my mental episode and how, despite that, I'm still doing fine. I'm okay. You know, I recovered and all that stuff. And, you know, a number of you guys reached out, you know, want to make sure I was okay. And one of the individuals who reached out to me was one of my day one bros by the name of Working with Wembley. That's his YouTube channel. So he invited me out to go grocery shopping the day after Christmas. And he was saying that the one thing that we, as in bros, like me, him, and the rest of the squad, the one thing that we do not do a good job of is just hanging out and just checking in on each other. Just say, yo, what's been good? What you been up to? Have anything new happen? Anything exciting been going on? We haven't been doing that at all. So we decided to go out to eat once a month just to check in with each other, hang out, and see what's up. And we've been doing that since January, although we've been slipping since, I want to say May, so we need to get back to that. And normally it's me and my boy Working with Wembley. We will alternate in terms of where we should go for that month. And I actually picked a restaurant from Resi, and that $25 credit, or that $50 credit rather, came in handy right there. Now, the Resi credit is working in my favor because of that right there. Now, let's move on, because we're not done with the credits. And, of course, you get the $84 Dunkin' credit that is broken down to $7 per month. Now, I can actually tell you this story as well. So, I'm now into matcha. And matter of fact, I just drank a matcha, like 30 minutes or so ago. So, I've been driving around my local area trying to find that one spot that have the good matcha. So, I've tried Starbucks, I tried Tim Hortons, I tried the local establishment. Nothing. And then I just went to the Dunkin' that's literally 2 minutes away from my house, and I got it made in a certain way. Loved it. I loved it. So now I'm going to Dunkin' to get my matcha. So now this $7 per month credit is going straight towards the matcha. And sometimes I would go to Dunkin' twice, maybe 3 times a month just for the matcha. So that credit is definitely working in my favor. You're going to get $100 of credit towards the hotel collection on the American Express Travel Card or the American Express Travel app. However, you do need to stay 2 nights in order for this credit to kick in. So similar to the American Express Platinum Card with the 2-night minimum stay fiasco. The problem with this credit is this. $100 is chump change. If you were to go on American Express travel site right now and look at the hotel collection, them prices are high as heck. So to say, oh, you get $100 off does nothing. So if you're one of those folks who actually stays at the hotel collection, okay, you may find use for this. But for everybody else, like me, nah, this ain't useful at all. So more likely, I will not be using this credit at all. Now, we still not done because there's one more change that they made, but this one is temporary. And for the time being, you're able to get a one-time statement credit of $96 to cover an annual Uber One membership. So you got to take advantage of this before October the 30th, 2026. And I'll be honest, I saw that email that explained all the changes that they were making to the Gold Card without changing the annual fee. And I saw the Uber One membership. And I was like, you know what? Let's take advantage of this. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this is. And I like it. So this is credit that I'm actually taking advantage of. This credit is not going towards the annual fee. I actually like this to the point where I may actually get this. I may purposely get this. So I need to do more research on it. We'll see how things go. But as it stands right now, I may actually get this membership, keep this membership. So let's move on to the other benefits. And the usual stuff is here. You're looking at trip delay insurance, baggage insurance plans, car rental loss and damage insurance, global assistant hotline, and of course, no foreign transaction fees, which is good for the 4 times the points towards restaurants, dining, and takeout. For the overall strategy on how to use the gold card, again, I've been mentioning this throughout the video. I'm gonna mention it right here. I highly advise you to go to my Patreon and check out the secret tips that I have for you guys in terms of how to use certain cards, how to apply for certain cards. Not to mention, I have reviews for lounge and for business class flights, first class flights. They will all be on the Patreon. I got some stuff up on there already. Now, in terms of the strategy for this card, that will be up soon. It's not up yet, but it will be up soon. So I highly advise you to go to my Patreon. The link to that, it will be in the description box below. And you can click over there and see what strategy that I have for you guys in terms of you using the credits to your advantage if you're thinking about getting the American Express Gold Card, or if you have it already but haven't really figured out how to use the credits to your benefit. Go over there to get the strategies. If you probably wondering why don't I just say now? Because they're watching. And if they're watching, they're taking notes, and they're going to make changes to basically kill those strategies. That's why I don't post them publicly. That's why you got to go to my Patreon. And if they go to my Patreon, that means I'm getting money from them. So, there you go. Let's move on. So, what are my overall thoughts on the changes made for this card? I'll be honest. I like it. That's easy for me to say because I already got the card before they made that change to the spend requirement for the welcome offer. But in terms of the changes that affected me, I love them. I love them. We talked about adding more stuff to the dining credit like Wonder. Again, I still don't know what that is. But Buffalo Wild Wings, that is huge right there. The fact that they give me the opportunity to check out the Uber One membership, that's cool too. Going to the American Express travel site to book your hotels with them, yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. To go from 2 times the points to 5 times the points, that's huge. That's very, very huge, if I do say so myself. Who is this card for? So, first of all, I would say that this card is for families. So if you do a lot of grocery shopping, if you go out to eat a lot, that's the card for you right there. And even for solo folks like me who can find a way to utilize the credit, yeah, that card is for you as well. So if you go out, twice a week, maybe even once a week, because you don't want to cook every day for the entire month, whatever the case may be, and you want to go out, whatever the case may be, yeah, go ahead. That's the card for you right there, especially if you want to be adventurous. If you want to be adventurous in terms of going out to eat, like I'm still trying to find that one go-to sushi place. And I may have found it, and the beauty of that place is it's a part of the Resi. So I can just go over there, use the Resi credit on that, and boom, I'll be good. So if you're trying to be adventurous in terms of where you want to go to eat, go on Resi and use the credit. So if you're those types of folks, that card is good for you. I really, at this point in time, I cannot think of who this card would not be good for. The only thing I can think of is if you don't do a lot of grocery shopping, if you don't eat out like that, and again, there's strategies in terms of how to make the credits work. I can't say them here. So I want to say it doesn't matter where you go to eat. If you don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings, that's cool. If you don't do the Cheesecake Factory, that's cool too. If you don't do Five Guys, that's cool as well. There's other places that you can use the dining credit on, and you can use the Uber credit on to make it work for you. Now, if you don't have a Dunkin', okay, that's cool too. And if you're not really adventurous like that, then that's fine. Now you're looking at potentially $240 of credit going towards the annual fee. So you're cutting it down to under $100 that you're paying per year. And if you think that's worth getting the gold card, okay, cool. Otherwise, I can understand if you don't want to do that because you're still coming out of pocket of $80 to $100. So I can understand if you don't want to mess with that because of that annual fee. But if you can mess with at least 3 out of those 5 credits that I mentioned, and I'm not counting the Uber one because that's temporary. So the other ones, including the hotel collection, maybe if you can mess with that, then yeah, go with that. Especially if you eat out, especially if you do a lot of grocery shopping. That's the card for you right there. Overall, the American Express Gold Card, I completely changed my tune about this card. It went from a card that I was frowning upon to This is one of my top 2 favorite cards. It's with this and the Capital One Venture X. So I really, really love this card. And this card is probably going to be in my pocket long term. It may outlast the American Express Platinum card. We'll see how that goes in the future. Nevertheless, I really like this card. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm going to call it a wrap. And I'll see you guys next time.